You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Welcome back. Today we're going to cut through some of the latest tech noise, get you those key insights, the stuff that really matters.
Absolutely. We'll hit some cloud innovations, definitely some essential dev tools, and maybe most importantly, pull out lessons from, well, things going brilliantly and things going really wrong.
Right. Understanding the strategy, not just shiny new features.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's jump right into the cloud. AWS, DocumentDB serverless, getting a lot of attention. The big promise is automatic scaling compute and memory based on demand.
Yeah.
And they're talking potential cost savings, like up to 90% compared to provisioning the old way. That's huge. But beyond the cost, what's the real impact here? How does this change things?
Well, the transformative part is how it makes powerful databases more accessible. It works with these things called DocumentDB capacity units, DCUs, scales from really small, like half a DCU, up to 256.
Okay.
Supports version 5.0.0 plus, and you can even mix serverless with your existing clusters. So yeah, it saves money, but it also just removes a huge barrier.
Right. Less infrastructure rent.
Exactly. Smaller teams, new projects, they can just focus on the application, not provisioning databases. It's a strategic shift. But interestingly, while serverless is booming, you've got companies like Oxide. They just raised, what, $100 million in a Series B.
Wow. Okay.
And their whole mission is redefining cloud, but for on-premises. A totally integrated hardware-software stack. It proves there's still a massive need for modern cloud-like infrastructure outside the public cloud providers.
So innovation at both ends, hyperscale flexibility, and tight on-prem control. Interesting tension.
Definitely.
All right, let's pivot to the developers. Sharpening the toolkit. Azure Developer CLI AZD, seeing buzz around its build once, deploy everywhere, CI/CD pipeline promise.
Yeah, that's the pitch.
It uses single bicep files, that's Microsoft's infrastructure as code thing, plus environment variables. And it dynamically sets up infrastructure for dev, for prod, automatically switches environments. Sounds pretty slick for dev teams.
It is slick. And, making infrastructure dynamic like that immediately brings up security concerns, which leads us nicely to gvisor.
Okay, gvisor. Container security.
Exactly. Think of it like a user space kernel. It's also called the sentry. It basically sits between your container and the actual host OS kernel, intercepting system calls.
Creating a buffer.
Precisely. It gives you much stronger isolation than standard Docker, where containers share the host kernel, so you're reducing the host's attack surface. Really valuable for multi-tenant setups or anything super security sensitive.
Makes sense. Is there a downside? Performance hit?
There is some performance overhead, yeah. It's a trade-off. But for that extra layer of trust and security, many find it worthwhile.
Got it. Okay, now for maybe the most eye-opening part. Learning from the extremes. We heard this wild story. PostgreSQL performance dropping by 42,000 times.
Get this, yeah. 42,000.
Just from misconfiguring one file, postgresql.conf, how on earth does that even happen? What breaks so badly?
It's like they intentionally tried to break it. It was a combo of things. First, minimize the cache size forcing constant disk reads. Then, crank up auto vacuum and wall checkpoints so the database is constantly busy doing maintenance instead of actual work.
Ouch.
Then, disable index usage using cost parameters, forcing slow, full table scans for everything. And top it off by forcing single-threaded I/O.
Wow.
Yeah. Performance just tanks. Goes from over 7,000 transactions per second down to 0.016.
Yeah.
It's a brutal lesson in needing to understand how your systems actually work internally.
A very stark reminder. And that kind of fragility, it's not just databases, right? You mentioned the Cloudflare DNS outage back in July.
Exactly. That highlighted different risks, but the same theme. Relying on older systems, making global changes without careful, staged rollouts. It just magnifies the impact when something does go wrong. A small error ripples out massively.
Attention to detail seems to be the recurring theme.
Meticulous attention, yeah.
So we've bounced from flexible serverless, the comeback of integrated on-prem, boosting developer speed, locking down containers, and these really crucial, if painful, lessons from missteps. Quite a range.
It really is. And what strikes me is how all these different threads, serverless scaling, on-prem control, dev efficiency with AZD, security with gvisor, even things we didn't dive deep into like IPv6 or EKS or managing non-human identities with HashiCorp tools, they all point to the same thing.
Which is?
That the future is all about intelligent design and really, really careful attention to detail. You have to grasp how the pieces fit, how they scale, and honestly, where the next weak point might be hiding in these incredibly complex systems we're building.
So staying informed, thinking critically,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just nice to have, it's essential navigation gear.
Absolutely. It's your best tool for making sense of it all.
Spoken Tech for your ears.